Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. I know I've been gone for about a month now, but I want to say thank you to everybody that has been following me on Instagram, which is naturally_Izzy, as well as my YouTube page. I want to say thank you for all your beautiful comments. If you have any suggestions, please continue to leave those comments down below or hit me up on Instagram. I will be sure to answer all of your questions as best as I can. And also, I want to let you guys know that I am a new member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, and I want to let all my sorors know happy 22nd. So let's get to it. Let's get to this video. So obviously you guys are watching this because you want to know some tips and tricks on how to transition your hair to natural. There can be many cases of why you want to transition, whether it be you do not want to do any relaxers anymore, or you're chemically processed and you want to get rid of those ends, or it could be you have heat damaged hair. So within this video, I'm going to kind of highlight a little bit of what's what. For instance, relaxed hair. Usually people interchange the name with relaxed hair and permed hair, but the correct terminology is relaxed hair because it is straightening your hair, or it's chemically removing what your hair is made up of, allowing your hair to be of a straight pattern. So that's one case. Another one is chemically processed. Like for instance, my hair is chemically processed right now. It's dyed. It was supposed to be a burgundy color, but now it's like a brass brown color. For me, I am going to grow out this dye, so I'm going to return back to natural. Now that's kind of a touchy topic because we do have those that still consider their dyed hair to be natural, and then you have those that consider dyed hair to not be natural anymore because it's chemically processed. So then you have the heat damaged, where you are applying a lot of heat to your hair, whether it be blowing out your hair, or using a hooded dryer or a flat iron, and doing an extensive amount of heat application can cause damage to your hair. Whereas if you're seeing, let's say you're growing your hair out for like maybe 3 to 4 months and you haven't used heat during those 3 to 4 months, and you see your natural curl pattern. Generally, your curl pattern will be tighter than your heat damaged hair. Your heat damaged hair will probably be looser curls, or it would end up being a straighter hair pattern. So whatever that case may be, that's all up to the individual of why they want to return back to natural. So the tips that I'm going to give you, these will help you or help your process to that natural hair journey become a little bit smoother, or allow you to understand what's going on. Now the tips that I'm going to give you, it's going to be short. I don't want this video to be lengthy. If you guys want to know any more tips, leave a comment down below and just let me know. So the first one I want to go through, it's not in order. It's going to be kind of, I want to say it's going to be a little jumpy, but it's going to tie it all in, so bear with me. So the first one, I would say you have to try to understand your hair. You have those that are going to do a big chop or a long-term transitioning period. A big chop is when you just chop off all your hair. Me, I did a 5-month transitioning hair journey, and then I chopped off the rest of my hair. Mind you, my hair was about an inch long when I chopped it off, so I would consider that being a big chop. For me, people would have their different definitions of a big chop. The big chop can be you have 3 inches of hair growth and you do the big chop, or 1 inch of hair growth, or maybe you do a buzz cut and you cut everything off. There are others that consider let's say you're doing a long-term transitioning. A long-term transitioning can be from I want to say 6 months to maybe 2 years to 3 years. Basically, you're transitioning your hair from being chemically processed to your natural hair journey. And you have those that will cut their hair off or do the big chop, let's say 1 year post from either a relaxer or 1 year post from doing any heat appliances to their hair. And then you have those that do the one year post transition and they cut their hair, and some people may not consider that doing a big chop. They just consider that as chopping off your hair. So that is all by means what you want to call it. So I would just say figure out what you want to do. Some may just go on a wake up one morning and say, hey, I want to cut off all my hair. If you're one of those, I would highly suggest to understand what you're going to get yourself into. There are going to be some days that you feel as if you're not yourself. You feel as if, for me, I felt like, okay, I don't have any hair, and yes, growing up, hair was everything. You know, hair defined beauty. So it was as if, like, I'm not going to say I felt ugly, but I felt like I just wasn't myself. And then you have those days where you just like, okay, you know, I'm feeling who I'm supposed to be, you know. So I would just say just prepare yourself for that transition or for that journey if you're going to go to that extent of cutting off all of your hair. If you're going to transition, you also want to prepare yourself, because during the transitioning phase you are going to experience many different textures in your hair. For me personally, when I went on the 5-month transitioning phase, I got a little frustrated doing a protective style or just trying to blend in my relaxed ends with my natural hair. Again, because it's many different textures that I'm dealing with. So, sorry guys, it's my dog. So basically you want to allow yourself that time to get to know your hair, to understand how to properly take care of your transitioning hair. I'm going to go further in depth with how to take care of your transitioning hair in a separate video so you guys can understand the difference between that. So when you're doing, let's say you're doing the transitioning phase and you are trying to grow your hair, you're going to have to understand the factors with that. Some people, they would have to buy different products because, again, you have different hair textures. Me, I had to transition from the products that I had. I was using Cream of Nature, sulfate-free shampoo, as well as their conditioner. When I was transitioning, I found out that it was a bit too heavy for my hair. So I had to transition. I had to go about using different products, and that's when I started using Afro-G. I was using Afro-G, I want to say moisturizing shampoo, as well as Afro-G shampoo for damaged hair. So it can focus on both my natural and relaxed ends. And then when I went ahead and did the big chop, I found out that my hair was on its own. It decided that it needed something else. So I went out and found some shampoos that I felt that worked for me. I generally use Design Essentials or Miss Jessie's product line. So you really have to pay attention to your hair, because when you're doing that transitioning phase, it's going to be a task to deal with the natural hair as well as the relaxed end, because especially at the the line of demarcation, since it's very sensitive, you want to use the right product so your hair is not snapping at that point, because then it's going to be kind of like you're starting all over again when you really don't want to. Okay, so that was tip 2. I would say tip 3 is this kind of goes back to my previous videos. You want to pay attention to your diet. You want to eat the proper foods. I will also upload a video for that. The proper foods does allow your hair to flourish. And tip number 4, pay attention to your protective styles. You don't want to use tight, overbearing protective styles that will end up knotting up your hair or breaking off your ends or edges. I would suggest using low manipulation hairstyles, maybe a braid out, a twist out, bantu knots. Especially if you're doing those braid out, twist outs, or bantu knots, make sure that you are prepping your hair as delicately as you can. And also maybe do some braids, not so much tight braids, loose braids, anything that's just not that heavy towards your hair, because at this point your hair is very, very delicate and you want to treat it as such. Number 5, I want to tie it back to number 1, where I said that you have to understand what you're going to be going through, whether it's going to be a big chop or long-term transitioning. Now, when I tie it back into that, I'm trying to get you guys to understand that there's going to be a lot of patience that's going to be involved in your hair journey. Not many people experience a fast hair growth. Not many people experience a successful hair journey, or it may take a long time for others to have this hair journey or seek the hair journey that they're looking for. So you want to understand what you're going through. You need to be patient and basically do some research, ask as many questions that you can, and just understand what your body is composed of or what your hair needs. So I think that's about it for this first part of transitioning tips. I'm going to try to upload some of these videos on Thursday. I want to say Thursday, every Thursday, or maybe every 2 Thursdays, to get you guys more informed and answer your questions. So yeah, so thank you for watching, and I hope I see you guys again.